Do you want to become a developer but feel like you don't have the time? Maybe you watch a lot of tutorials but never actually start coding because you feel overwhelmed or don't know where to start. I've been there. You want to build cool projects, get a great job, or just change your life, but something is holding you back. You keep planning, watching videos, thinking about it, but somehow you never get started. Here's the truth: the problem isn't time, it's your comfort zone. Your comfort zone feels safe, but it's holding you back from growing. It's the reason why you keep waiting and why progress always seems just out of reach. But there's good news: you can break out of it. Today, I'll show you how I stepped out of my comfort zone and started coding. That's how I became a Python web developer, and I want to help you get started too. When I first wanted to learn programming, I thought I was too busy. I had a full-time job and lots of responsibility, like managing work problems, paying bills, and taking care of my family. Every day was packed. And at the end of it, I was too tired to learn something new. I kept saying, I'll start next week, thinking I just need one good free weekend to start. But you know what? Next week never came. And that free weekend I was hoping for, it never showed up either. The truth is, I wasn't busy. I was scared. I was scared of failing, scared that I wouldn't understand the code, scared that I would mess up. It was easier to just watch tutorials and feel like I was learning than it was to actually try to code. I'd watch tutorials, read articles, plan a project, but I wouldn't write a single line of code. Somehow I felt productive without actually moving forward. One night I opened VS Code, my code editor, and stared at it for a while. I tried to come up with an idea from the tutorials I watched, but my mind went blank. I didn't know where to start. My fear of doing it wrong kept me from even trying. I ended up telling myself, I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow turned into weeks. Weeks of waiting, weeks of planning, but no real progress. I wasn't making progress because I was stuck in my comfort zone. I was letting fear win, and it was keeping me from becoming the developer I wanted to be. One day I realized my comfort zone was keeping me stuck. It felt safe but held me back from learning and growing, so I decided to make small changes rather than drastic ones. I didn't quit my job or try to spend hours coding every night. I just set aside a little bit of time each night. And so I set aside 30 minutes a day, actually a night. It didn't seem like much, but for me it was enough to start. I made it a rule: 30 minutes of focused coding every night, such as building a small feature or practicing problem solving, no matter what. I turn off my phone, close my browser, and practice what I have learned in tutorials. I gave myself permission to make mistakes and not be perfect. I just focused on getting started. I remember one of my first projects. I tried to build a simple calculator, but it kept giving me the wrong answers. It was frustrating, but through debugging, I learned a lot about how logic errors happen. I knew the only way to get better was to actually write code, even if it wasn't perfect. At first, it was hard. My code was really messy. I made a lot of mistakes, and I often felt like I didn't know what I was doing, but I kept going. I didn't stop, and by the end of the week, I felt productive. I was finally making progress. I wasn't just watching others code anymore. I was coding myself and fixing my bugs, and that felt amazing. That's when it hit me. The problem wasn't that I didn't have enough time. It was how I used the time I already had. I kept waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect hour to sit down and focus. But the truth is, the moment never came. There's no such thing as the perfect time. Life doesn't give you extra time. It doesn't give you the ideal situation to learn. You have to make the most of what you've got. You have to create the time to learn and grow. Even 30 minutes can make a huge difference if you use it wisely. That small amount of time each day started to add up. It's not about finding more time, it's about taking action with the time you have right now. Instead of waiting, I started doing, and that made all the difference. After a few weeks, I built my first small project. It was simple and it took longer than I expected, but I finished it. It wasn't perfect, but I was proud of it, and that gave me the confidence to keep going. Over time, 30 minutes turned into an hour. Then I wanted to spend even more time coding because I was seeing real progress, and it made me curious about what's next. Those small steps added up, and soon I was making big leap. I stopped wasting time and started building real skills. I felt less scared and more excited. The fear started to fade, and the joy of creating took its place. So how can you escape your comfort zone and start coding? Here's what worked for me. First, you don't need hours of coding time. Start with just 15-30 minutes a day. Write something simple, even if it's just a Hello World program. The important thing is to start. Second, watching tutorial is good, but writing code, it's better. Don't wait until you feel ready, just start typing. You learn best by doing. Even if it's messy, even if it's full of errors, write something. Third, turn off distractions, like social media. Set a timer and focus on coding, even if it's just for a short time. Those 15-30 minutes can be incredibly powerful if you use them well. Every small step counts. Each line of code you write brings you closer to your goal. Your comfort zone feels safe, but it's stopping you from becoming a developer. It's a trap that keeps you in place, but you don't have to stay there. Breaking out is hard, but each small step, like building an HTML page, styling it to look better, or writing a program to solve a simple real program, brings you closer to your dream. Each time you code, you're growing, and that growth is what makes the journey worth it. So, what's one coding project or skill you've been putting off? What's one small step you can take today to move forward? Write it in the comments. I would love to hear how you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Sharing it can help to make it real. And if you're ready to take control of your time and your future, hit subscribe. Join me on this journey to becoming a better developer. Let's do this together. We can grow, learn, and build amazing things step by step, making real progress every day. See you in the next video.